Hi guys, first I'd like to formally welcome you to our Ultimate Cotton Influencer Challenge. My name is Lauren and I'm one part of the Ultimate Cotton Influencer team. You'll see a few more of my peers throughout these lectures. But we're going to start with a set of 5 lectures that's going to dive a little bit deeper into Instagram, social media marketing, and kind of all of the tactics that you can use to make the best Instagram posts possible. But in order to do that, we kind of just have to start with the basics. So here we have the ultimate intro to social media marketing. So some of you might be asking yourselves kind of, why cotton? Why is this project even happening? So this is actually a project that is funded by the Importer Support Program of the Cotton Board and with supervision from Cotton Incorporated. In this program, CMU students are going to be able to learn about social media marketing and act as cotton influencers, as well as participate in a campus-wide competition with over $2,000 in prizes. So if I were you, I'd be excited. So to start our first kind of module or our first section, by the end of this, you should be able to answer the 6 following questions, such as what is social media? How do you make a good marketing strategy on social media? And kind of Gen Z consumers, because that's really your main target market on social media currently. So what is social media? It's media that encourages users to talk, share, network, kind of two-way interaction on the internet. These electronic services also really encourage discussion, feedback, voting, comments. So really a lot of two-way communication between the person posting on Instagram or any other social media and the customer or just the participant watching it. Social media is important because now it is the largest real-time communication and information tool that we've had in history. So really, like I said, it's kind of this constant two-way communication. So social media has been a pull strategy where people are asking for feedback, asking for input and comments, where traditional advertising such as like in your magazines or on TV, that's been more of a push strategy where they're kind of pushing information out to you and not really looking for any type of feedback. So that really changes the game in social media. It's a constant touch point between your consumer and your business, and it really gives brands an opportunity to promote their identities, their products, and even their brand philosophies or different big events or big lines that are coming out. So with this kind of what is social media marketing, if we know what social media is, it's a two-way communication where you talk, participate, you share, and network. Then adding another layer to that, social media marketing is the marketing of products or services using social media channels to reach consumers and receive feedback on their products or services. So with that, you get electronic word of mouth. So this is a version of oral publicity. It can be positive or negative. Just because people are talking about your product doesn't mean it's necessarily good or bad. But this also gives consumers to express their opinions and ideas anytime, anywhere. So now you can talk to your friends, your peers, or even random anonymous users on the internet about how you feel about a product. So this has made a huge kind of new version of publicity for brands, and the information source of this word of mouth is really important. So who's saying the information and how they're saying it and kind of the rest of their personality extends to whatever brand that they're talking about in this version of word of mouth. So how can I create a social media marketing strategy? Well, the first main step is to really know your business, kind of your identity, your philosophies. And then next, make sure you know your competition. So who are your main competitors? And what's their identity? What are their brand philosophies? Next is make sure you know your consumer, so who they are, their demographics and their psychographics, and how they really interact with your brand. Next, you want to know what you want to achieve, so your goals. Examples can be to raise awareness, to increase sales, and then know how you're going to do it. So ask yourself, how have my competitors or how have other similar brands used social media to send messages or accomplish this goal in the past? And kind of see if they were successful. And while we do not promote copying, you can always take inspiration and ideas from past work. So now moving on to more specifically what this challenge is about, what is Instagram? So this is a photo sharing app launched in 2010. It really works well for those who have something beautiful to share. So really visually stimulating products such as food, travel, and for most of all of this, for fashion. It's both a social networking site and a content community. So what that means is people can connect with each other in social network and talk, but they can also create their own content and make their own photos and videos and share their work with others. And why are we talking about Instagram in relation to fashion brands? Well, 96% of US fashion brands have an Instagram. And 60% of people using Instagram use this app to find new products to buy. In addition to that, 1/3 of users buy items actually through the Instagram app, which once we get to our next module, you'll learn a bit more about tap to shop. And customers engage with brands on Facebook way more than any other social media platform we found. So research has found that they 10 times more than Facebook they engage, 54 times more than on Pinterest they engage, and 84 times more on Twitter they engage. And then the average engagement per post has risen over 400% in the past 2 years. So more and more people are commenting and liking and really involving themselves in that two-way communication we talked about. And it's the fastest growing social network. As you can see by this chart here, the number of active Instagram users from January 2013 to 2018 increased over 1,000%. And a lot of you probably have Instagram accounts, and you might have signed up during that time. That was really the big boom of Instagram. In relation to other social media networks, social media growth has been really high with Instagram amongst US teenagers. So in this chart here, you can see kind of the popularity of different social media sites. We have Facebook in red, Twitter in gray, Instagram in black, Tumblr in green, Pinterest in yellow, and Snapchat in blue. As you can note, the only other social media network to reach a higher amount of popularity than Instagram has been Snapchat. And Snapchat, you guys probably all have one. We all use it on a daily basis. But really, when you're thinking about branding and marketing, between Instagram and Snapchat, Instagram is a much better choice because Snapchat really doesn't do very well with advertising. People don't respond well to ads on Snapchat versus on Instagram, it's more integrated naturally into your feed. So moving on to we're using Instagram. Generation Z teenagers really love it, but why do we really care about Generation Z? This is going to be your main target market when you go to create your own Instagram post. So to learn a little bit more about them, they're born between 1995 and 2005. So some of you actually might be in this demographic. 98% of Generation Z owns a smartphone, and they spend about 6 hours a day on their phones. 85% use social media to search for and to learn about new products, while 67% really want to see real humans, real people in their ads, not Photoshop, not retouch, not celebrities, real humans. They have an average attention span of only 8 seconds, which is a very important point that I would write down. You guys are going to have to remember that. And they were raised during a time when the concept of identity is really open. So they're really more into genderless products and kind of not putting people in the little boxes that gender and race kind of provide, but they're a little more open to interpretation and a little more fluid when it comes to those what used to be rigid topics. So the most important thing to Generation Z when they're shopping is aesthetics. And when I say aesthetics, I mean kind of the artistic appearance of a person, a place, or a thing. So kind of the overall general feel or mood that they're trying to evoke. And especially with Generation Z using the internet, they have formed all of these different fashion tribes or different fashion collectives where they all share the same aesthetic, they participate in kind of the same hobbies, and they like the same kind of music. And it's kind of really important to think about because you might want to include different aesthetic please different aesthetics in your own Instagram post. So just to run through a couple of examples, we have the classic Instagram baddie, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with, very influenced by hip hop culture, very influenced by street style, and very popular on Instagram today. We also have kind of the grunge punk look, which is a little more dark and moody and edgy. We also have the vaporwave trend, which is a lot of 80s and 90s influence, a lot of old like Windows 1992 visuals and kind of bright colors, neon colors, and that kind of thing, synth music. And we also have kind of the kawaii pop culture, which is a lot more influenced by Japanese culture, very cute, very pastel, very feminine. These are only a couple of the aesthetics that can be seen on Instagram, and I'm sure you guys know plenty of more yourselves. So really think about what aesthetic is your target market. Who are you trying to get with your Instagram post, and how can you make it so it really pleases to that market? So your challenge now. So we know the preferences, we know the aesthetics, we kind of know a bit about Gen Z. How can we use this information for Cotton? So how can we use all this to make the best possible Instagram post for Cotton? So to kind of talk a little bit more about Cotton Inc. and why we're here, it was formed in the 70s to recapture cotton's market share. Back in the 70s, there was a large rise of petroleum and synthetic-based fibers, and they really wanted to go back to more natural It's in natural fibers. It's a non-for-profit company that provides information to help companies develop and market superior, innovative, and profitable cotton. They provide people market data, different resources, and industry news and updates. So throughout this process, you'll be going to the Cotton website and Cotton Works website to gather more information, watch some of their old videos, and just see what, in general, how they promote themselves. Each year, 25 million tons of cotton are produced, so it really has a huge impact on the fashion industry and, the business market in general. Internationally, it's over $12 billion in trade, and it's one of the oldest known fibers. Seeds were actually found in Peru that date back to 450 BC, so cotton's been around forever. It's also a completely sustainable fiber where they use all portions of the plant, which is a really important thing to think of where we're heading forward in fashion, is sustainability and kind of environmentally friendliness, and how cotton can really help play a role in that. If you're interested to look into a little more information on any of the kind of citations or any of the data that I provided you, you can go ahead and pause here, and here's a full list of all the works cited. And for right now, I'm going to go ahead and move it on over to Module 2, and I will see you guys there.